When you say you need 5 kilowatt hours of usable AC energy from a solar system, that number sounds fixed. The standard industry shortcut to meet this target is straightforward. Take the panel wattage and divide it by expected peak sun hours. But apply that static mathematical approach in January and the system fails. The hardware on the roof is operating exactly as designed. The error lies in how we assume light behaves. A dead array in winter is rarely a hardware defect. It is a failure in the underlying irradiance assumption. To build a reliable system, we abandon forward sizing. Instead, we reverse engineer the design, starting at the final load and working backward to the sun. Energy does not travel intact from the roof to your outlet. Every piece of hardware between the panel and the plug exacts a toll. These are system-wide efficiency penalties. These penalties are multiplicative, not additive. A 5% loss here and a 10% loss there compound quickly into a massive energy deficit. To extract exactly 5 kilowatt hours of usable energy at the end of the line, the initial solar harvest must be drastically oversized to survive the system's own conversion taxes. This diagram illustrates the energy pipeline. We start at the end with the strict requirement of 5 kilowatt hours of AC load. Before a single watt reaches that load, the inverter requires baseline power, simply to stay active. Moving upstream, pushing energy into storage introduces charge acceptance losses within the battery bank. Before the battery, the maximum power point tracking controller generates its own conversion waste. And finally, the physical wiring layout introduces voltage drop and thermal resistance. The required input energy is now drastically larger than our starting 5 kilowatt hours. This defines our required solar harvest. The initial energy generated must equal the load divided by the total system efficiency. Ignoring this efficiency chain guarantees structural undersizing before you even consider the weather. Now we shift focus from the hardware on the ground to the environmental conditions in the sky. Under heavy winter cloud cover, sunlight ceases to be a steady input. It becomes diffused, scattered, and highly intermittent. This graph shows the idealized summer irradiance model used in standard solar calculators, a smooth, perfect, symmetrical bell curve. The actual winter overcast profile shatters that ideal. You get a highly erratic, low-amplitude, jagged waveform. Two mathematical variables cause this collapse: fluctuating cloud attenuation and the seasonal low-angle reduction of the sun. Treating winter sunlight as a fixed constant is a critical error. Engineers must model a highly volatile, nonlinear irradiance flux. This nonlinear drop in irradiance dictates the physical response of your solar panel. This chart illustrates the power curve. Under overcast conditions, the array voltage remains relatively stable, but the current production collapses sharply toward zero. This severe drop in current forces the MPPT controller into a low current tracking regime. It spends its time erratically searching along a flattened curve, severely reducing its conversion efficiency. This tracking instability compresses the daily harvest window, wiping out any assumption of peak sun equivalent hours. To find the true energy yield, we use an integration formula to calculate the exact area under this erratic curve over time. Failing to calculate this exact area guarantees your charge controller will starve the system during extended bad weather. Because the daily harvest window is compressed and unstable, an aggressive correction factor must be applied. We call this a cloud reliability multiplier. It directly answers the deficits created by low light tracking and reduced winter angles. This brings all the variables together into the final system sizing equation. Required energy equals the load, scaled by system losses, scaled by the cloud margin. This margin is non-negotiable. It is the sole buffer you have against cloud transients and winter sun angle loss. Off-grid systems must not be sized for bright sunlight. They must be explicitly sized to ensure energy survival when irradiance entirely collapses. The real-world consequences of utilizing bad irradiance math show up fast, and the downstream damage they cause to your system is incredibly expensive. The terminal symptoms of energy starvation appear as severe sulfation in lead-acid banks or low state of charge cycling stress in lithium iron phosphate cells. Technicians frequently look at these drained cells and misdiagnose the issue as a simple storage failure. But the diagnostic rule is absolute. If a battery bank chronically fails to reach full charge in winter, the root cause is upstream in the irradiance assumption, not in the battery itself. Always ensure proper DC isolation switches and correct fuse sizing. Electrical work is inherently dangerous. Consult a qualified professional. This is for educational purposes only. True solar engineering abandons theoretical nameplate ratings. It demands designing strict mathematical reliability against the worst-case environmental stress.